Hey y'all, how's it going? It's your boy Josh.exe back at another Catalogue project review. Back at it again, that's what I meant to say, but We're here with Windows 96 Gradient Horizont. I keep wanting to call it Gradient Horizon, but it's not what it's called. But yeah, business casual release number 165, Gradient Horizont, comes to us from Windows 96 / White Gabrielle, who I didn't realize were actually the same person until I started to work on this review. I have the first edition white cassette, which is the usual business casual quality. It has unique A and B side stickers, reversible J card, and track listing. Really great looking tape, and I'm happy to have a copy. If you do see a silver one of these, that is the second edition, which is actually a lower print run, but I think they did like 15 for the White Gabrielle and Windows 96 combo pack, which is what I got, and I didn't realize they were connected. It probably should have been a sign. But anyway, let's get into the A side. Youthful Waters, sweet chill opening, really like the lead. We get some MIDI flutes and a drum beat comes in only to fade back out and give us kind of a chill reprieve for a couple beats. Then it comes back and just makes you want to nod your head along. Really like the interlude. It's so chill, like drifting down a river. It starts to fade out before taking you back into the hook. This is just a really cool way to kick off the album. Sorry if you heard me just whack my microphone there. Transient feeling, much more driving. Got that steady bass line kicking us off for a couple of 4/4 loops where the lead comes in. Found myself turning up the volume before we got some more layers added in, just to jam along. After the lead, we get an ethereal sounding synth riff with a driving bass line underneath before putting us back into the hook. We get an almost chaotic shift, the drums picking up and some noisier synths come in, but it chills right back out. Puts us into a combo of the hook and that ethereal synth. Super fun. As we near the outro, some horns come in to see us off. Just loving this track. This is one of my favorites on the album. Cry in the Distance. We bring the tone way down. It's a somber intro, but gives way to some drums and some synth lead while staying like that lead's just ever present over the top of the track, and it fades out. So we get some distorted vocals. It's super pleasant. We come right back into those initial riffs. Cry in the Distance is a really cool one. Just like, it's very forlorn in a way. I like it. And y'all know I prefer my up-tempo tracks, but this is one that it's a jam. It manages to keep that really somber tone, but be something you can nod along to. It's well done. Vision. Song starts strong with some like MIDI woodwind of some sort. Oboe? I don't know. Kicking it off before the bass line rolls in. We get some flying over the back there. Just oof. Some chimes come in. Comes back to be the center of the track as we get that full chorus. The beat in this one really caught me off guard. Just because it's so like, it's there. And you're just kind of like, man, it's going to be chill, but it's like thumping. The outro is really nice as well with that thumping bass line, some chimes. Really cool. Really like it. Gradual path, some like bongos, hand drums. I don't know. That's what tone we're dealing with. But yeah, it's like, you know, it's percussive and you can definitely hear those hand slaps on the top. It could be bongos, could be another kind of drum. I don't know. Before we get some synth flute and some it's extra nice. Add some more percussion that had me asking if it was there all along because it fades in really nicely. And when it hits, you're like, oh, that's here. Yeah. We get a nice cool transition from the hand drums into a great beat. It's kind of the same beat, but now, you know, sticks and such. We get some swelling in the background and like eventually back into that riff with the updated drum tone, that initial riff that kicked us off. Just wonderful over the top synth leads before we hit the fade out. Origami, man, last track on the A side, really chill. It's that at home on a Sunday morning feel. Drums and string lead give us that like chill mornings with nothing to do vibe. Get a nice full synth with some cool chords chilling in the background. Little vocal samples used in this one is just a little accent. I really dig the chill morning vibes. Anything that's kind of takes me back to going like, do I want to turn on the Nintendo or do I just want to chill? Like, I'm happy with it. Let's flip that cassette over. We got the B side here. Just last hours. We get some sad strings to kick us off, and they roll into a mellow, ethereal synth lead that steadily builds. We got some distant strings in the background before a somber lead takes over for a couple of beats and hands it back to the ethereal. I love the handoffs. We get different sounds showcased in the center before handing it back to something else, and it's a really cool bit of mixing. It makes sure that even though we're hitting a lot of the same notes, it's never really boring, and by the time we get back to the hooks and the chorus, it still feels fresh because we've gotten so much to listen to in the interim. It's neat. I like Last Hours. It's cool. Check it out. Underworld, Bass City to kick us off. Thick, spongy bass line. We get some flutes over the top, subside for a few beats, come back in for about the next minute to let that really build up around itself. At about the minute 30 mark, we drop a lot of it out for some chill drum, light percussion section with a little bit of synth for flavor. The leads steadily come back in. It's a fun listen. Would do it. Earthbound, warm synth, kick and hand drums welcome us in. Another spongy bass tone comes forward as well. We chill for just about a minute before the hi-hat hits the party. We drop out for some xylophone goodness. There's kind of a stark lack of sound in this section for an album that's so full. We're just letting the chime cymbals and like some vocals distorted in the background just kind of show their thing before we get the drums just kind of do kick us back into some more warm sounding like synth hooks, chorus. I don't know what it is, but I like it. Motion, loving the bass to kick this one off. Wouldn't be out of place somewhere in like Darkwave. It's very just, thumpy. It's good. Sad sounding synth over the top, not as quite as forlorn as Cry in the Distance, but it's still sad in nature. The synths kick us off into a full riff. We're off to the races. Synth strings take over, keep up the tone. This is a fun one. I have a little less to say about it. The other's certainly not my favorite, but it's an enjoyable listen. Check it out. Check out this whole album. Do it. Near Past, big ol' synth lead. It's huge, really stark contrast from like kind of like the subtlety from Motion, and it kicks up for a second and drops back into the starting riff. It's super cool. I like the faster parts between those huge synth riffs a lot. I would have liked to see more from this track, but it's only about like 1:40 in general. It's cool while it lasts. It's neat. Last station, we've reached the end. Cool tones take us in. The drums steadily get louder as we get into the track. Bassline comes in at about 45 seconds. The initial chimes drop out for a MIDI trumpet comes over the top. And honestly, that bassline is dope. We get some more of those chimes with the MIDI trumpets and a transition. It's chill, almost sad riffs before the trumpet rolls back in over the top. And there's a really nice touch because like you can hear that like sliding door. If you've been on a subway or something, you know it. You know the sound. And it's really nice that the song fades out as the train pulls away from the station. And yeah, that's it for this one, man. Overall, really fun album. I thought it was a super fun listen. And Last Station, as Last Station started, I found myself asking, like, we're done already? Come on. Give me one more. We just started. Yeah, like Youthful Waters, Transient Feeling, and Origami are standout tracks for me personally. I really, really liked those. Really cool vibes in Last Station. It's also worth a listen if you want to just dip your toes into this album. It's honestly a fantastic listen. At the end, I want to pop it back in just to jam it again. This album also uses silence at the end of tracks a lot and just let it resonate with you, which I like. Like it'll give you a second before we drop the next track in, and sometimes it's nice to just let those tones kind of like resonate with you for a moment. And you can like think about it for a second before something else comes along and it's like, hey, you're not ushered along. And I like that. Sometimes that's really nice. But yeah, really cool album. Feeling a 5 on this one for sure. It's super neat. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see me look at next. Follow me on Twitter. I'm starting up a Discord for the channel and music in general. If you want to check it out, hit me up. Please like and subscribe. I'll see y'all later, man.